Hey YouTubians, it's Tony here from We Try Anything. Channel likes try anything, so you don't have to. Today's video, as you can see from the very screen behind me and from what I'm holding in my hand, this video is about what it's like to wear the CASIO DW-291H over 31 days. That was in January. Now the reason why I do 31 days about these watches is because I like to get the watches out of my watch box that I've reviewed previously over the past couple of years, put on my wrist and say what they like to wear over that extended period of time, and they'll give me an overall impression in terms of comfort, getting on with the watch and what it was like in daily wear. I'm going to just refer to my notes here and try and keep me on a kind of an even course, because I do like to fly off on a tangent. So first of all, let's talk about the comfort of this watch. I've got to be honest with you, at first, with the 6.5-inch wrist that I've got here, not the easiest watch to wear for me. I like to wear slightly smaller watches like your F91Ws, F105s, and maybe go up to something a bit like a AW81 that I really did enjoy wearing last year. But I did find this a little bit hard to wear at first. It was more the comfort of the strap, because I'm not used to a strap this wide. It was just something, I don't know, it was either too loose or it was just a little bit tighter than I do normally wear these sort of watches. But I got used to it. I went for the slightly tighter one, and I got to be honest with you, I did get used to it. It was no problem at all. And it was just that every morning when I put it on, I just had to get used to it again. So it wasn't something that faded over time. It was just, it faded over the day. So after wearing it for a half an hour, you forgot about that. It was like you forgot about the comfort factor, but you knew it was on your wrist due to the size of this watch. Now, talking about the size of this watch, I'm just popping a few dimensions here, which includes what would be the width, the height of the case, the strap length, etc. So they're just all there. So if you want to pause the video at any one point, just have a look at the sizes and the weight of this watch, you can easily do so. So as I say, it's quite a big watch for my wrist, but I did get on with it. It was fine. I didn't find that I wanted to take it off at any one point and try swap it for something else. I did get on with it. It was all right, to be honest. And towards the end of January, I don't know, grown to actually enjoy wearing it really. So yeah, I can understand why it is a popular watch. Now, this watch isn't for everyone. You got your pushes that poke out and stuff like that, but I'll talk about that later when I go over the design and practicality of this watch. But in terms of overall comfort, it was fine. Now, wearing a coat, which I wear coats with an elasticated cuff as well as a hoodie. As you can see here, it's got an elasticated cuff. Yeah, it was a bit of a pain really, because not only could you feel the hoodie and the coat pushing against the watch, because it's quite thick in terms of how the watch is, in terms of the width of or the thickness of the case. I just felt that the hoodie didn't really slide over it as a lot of the watches I've worn in the past do. And I did find that wearing a coat that I've got off to my right here, I had to keep pulling my cuff over in terms of so the watch didn't keep getting pushed on my wrist. So that was another, just a slightly negative. I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but it was just something I thought I'd mention. Now, also talking about the strap on this watch, it did break. I've got to be honest with you, it did snap. Now, I'd imagine obviously being an older strap, and I just put probably a bit more stress on the strap than normal. It did break, and I went off and bought a replacement Casio strap, and I've got to say, probably one of the hardest straps I've ever had to change. The pin on the inside, on the inner pin, just kept flying off every time I was trying to change it, and also it was just so hard to just get it so it didn't keep coming out. So be aware of that fact if you are looking to change the strap on these watches. I mean, people out there might just do it, no problem, but for me, I did find it a bit of a faff. And also that's why you probably see there is the damaged strap on there. I haven't replaced this part of it yet. I'm just building up the courage for that, but just be aware, I found this quite a challenge to change the strap. But other than that, it was fine, no problem at all, quite comfortable once you forgot you were wearing it, and you do know it's always there. You do feel your hands kind of knocking into what would be these pushes that just stand proud of the case. But other than that, yeah, towards the end of it, I really did enjoy wearing this sort of watch. It was really good. So next, let's talk about what the kind of design and the display. I've got to say, I really do like the look of this watch. I really do. It's got a very heavy industrial feel about it, like a heavy wearing watch that you know would take a fair few knocks and bangs. And this, as you can see from the close-ups I'm showing you, it easily has taken some knocks and bangs over the years. But I really did love the look of it. My only criticism of what would be the LCD display that I'm looking at here is that digital analog part of it, which is to the top right hand corner. Now I understand why they've done that, so if you're in different modes you can see whatever the local time is, but for me, looking at it, I just think it's a bit of a, it's just not an afterthought, because obviously they've got to design these watches, but it's just something that I wouldn't have minded living without. It made no difference to me. But the overall display, and in terms of, yeah, I can still read it with my glasses off with varifocals, and you know, being short-sighted, yeah, I can still easily read the time. It is a bit blurred, but the display is well laid out. The typeface used on what would be the time or whatever information you've got towards the bottom of the display, very easy to read. There's a lot of information at a glance, and I do like the dynamic aspect of, you know, what you've got, the graphic display going up and down depending on the seconds or whatever mode you're in. So yeah, there's a lot going for this, and plus I love the fact that you do get the date in terms of the day, the month, and the date within the month, as well as the time as listed below. So yeah, it's got a real good look about it, and I know for some people they won't like the pushers poking out, but for me, I really did enjoy looking at it on a daily basis, and it's just something a little bit different. Now the only aspect I did find was a bit of an issue was sometimes my wrist would rest against the bottom right hand pusher, and that allows you to change between what would be known as 4 time screens. So on the main timekeeping mode, you can you can set up 4 time screens, one being your local time and the other 3 being world times that you can choose between, I think it's up to 38 cities or something like that. You can set it to being able to scroll between on this display, and if your wrist touches against it, you could be looking at the time thinking, my God, the time's suddenly either gone backwards or forwards. And what it is just literally you press that button by accident. So just bear that in mind. It does happen from time to time, not a lot, but it did happen to me. But otherwise, I love the look of it. I love how it looks, especially with the grey bezel against what would be the black resin case and the black resin strap. Real good looking watch, and it's a watch that just feels like it's got a very rugged purpose. The other thing to mention is the backlight on this watch. This backlight is just phenomenal. It's a dual amber LED setup, which is at the bottom of the display. You can read the time easily in what would be the darkness and semi-darkness in terms of like the early hours of the morning, late hours of the evening. You can easily get the time, and I had no problem understanding the time from it or whatever function I was using on this watch. Absolutely no problem at all. And plus they have what's known as afterglow, so you can set it up for 1.5 second delay for it to illuminate, or 3 seconds. So if you want it to just illuminate for a bit longer, you can easily do that with this watch. Now, while I'm mentioning what will be some of the features and functions of this watch, I might as well just quickly read out what this watch is capable of doing, or what it's got built into it. Now, features wise, it's got 200 meters of water resistance, which is phenomenal. It just allows this watch to be a very versatile watch, so you can wash the car without worry, go for a bath, go for a shower, maybe some form of swimming as well you can do with this watch without worry. It's such a great water resistance on this watch. It's got what would be up to 10 years battery life. It's got 12 and 24 hour format or military time built into it, so you can swap between the two. And also it has a calendar, which is an automatic calendar. So up to 2099, it will take into account what would be leap years and stuff like that. So once you set it, you can easily forget it. So great little features on this watch. I'm going to mention some of the functions of this watch. It's got a mute button operations. It's got world time, which means it's got 31 time zones, which is 48 cities, including universal time. And you're allowed to turn on the daylight saving time on or off for each of them cities, which is a handy little function. You've got 5 daily or one-time alarms, and also you've got an hourly signal which you can turn on and turn off. You've got a countdown timer which can count down from 24 hours, and you've also got a built-in stopwatch which will count up to 24 hours, and you've also can build into that elapsed times, and also first and second finish time. So quite a lot to this watch, I've got to be honest with you. Now, what's my overall thoughts of this watch wearing it over the 31 days? I thought it was a great looking heavy duty Casio watch to wear on the wrist, and as I say, I think it's sometimes a bit better than some of the G-Shocks that are out there. I think it's got more of an appeal, that especially with that screen being open and quite big. It's very legible and very easy to understand and well laid out as well. So yeah, it's got a plus there. There are a few variants of this available, so if this coloration is not for you, it is available in a few other colorways. And over the 31 days, not the easiest to wear. from the off, especially on a daily. Putting it on of a morning, you know it's on your wrist, but you do forget about it, even though you can still feel it when you do move your hand or your wrist as well. So it's a watch I had to get used to, but once I got used to it, I really did enjoy wearing it. There's a lot of functionality for your money. Now, I've seen this watch, and I'm just referring to my notes here, I've seen this watch around the £40 mark. You get a lot of watch for your money, and knowing how much this has taken in terms of knocks and bangs, I'd say it's quite a durable watch to wear. And with that 200 meters of water resistance, it is a very versatile watch on the wrist as well. To me, I would say, as long as you can get on with the size of it, it is a great beta watch, which means you can wear it every day, not worry about it getting beaten up or knocked or scratched or anything like that. Because for the £40, you can probably get a new one, or you just get on with it, and it adds a bit of character to this watch, giving it more of a harder wearing look. And overall, I really did enjoy wearing this watch in January. I had to get used to it overall, but once you got used to it, I've got to say, I really did enjoy wearing it. So I hope my 31 days with the Casio DW-291H has helped you in some way, and if it has, then please click on the like button. Always helps the channel. If you want to see more videos from the We Try Anything channel, including the AE 1500, which will be coming up in the next couple of weeks, then please click on the subscription button below. And thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.